Blackberry is a very well-known menswear brand in India. Can you briefly discuss what kind of retail footprint and supply chain partnerships the brand has?
Well, there are four, five kind of channel partners, right from large format to digital to wholesale and franchisee stores. So, factories and textile partners put together will exceed 70, 80. We have a hybrid model where we have own manufacturing and we also have committed partners.
Can you give us some idea about how this industry works?
That industry follows a seasonal paradigm over here, and pretty much in retail booking happens in the trade shows. For that is for the entire season. So this is something where a brand represents its range to the entire retail world. In terms of the channel partners, our own Cocos, our franchise partners, they come. It's a 10 to 12 days event where we display the entire range which will gonna be coming in the upcoming season.
What were the issues with this way of working?
It's a long lead time scenario because season gets planned anywhere 6 to 9 months before what we will put our stores. The biggest disadvantage for that is you are exposing yourself in terms of huge risk. You may create a more merchandise which eventually will block your working capital. It's a huge damage if we go on discounting. It will get exposed to end of season sale, which eventually reduces our gross margins. It impacts our EBITDA as an organization. So while an inventory can be in excess and it can go short as well, so our channel partners were disappointed in terms of the availability.
Newly revamped supply chain is set up uniquely. Can you describe the rationale behind it?
So we have two category of business, I would say. One is the fashion category of business, which is more seasonal, where we buy seasonal products, focus on seasonal color palettes, seasonal designs. And there are two category of products. So core is the product which has bare minimum or 2 season life it lives and has a possibility and probability to go more further.
Before the intervention, for us, the collection was a single large mass. And therefore, there was no distinction between fashion and core. But now we have definite expectations as far as turns is concerned for the core item and the fashion item. And obviously they behave differently, they are sourced differently. There is far more stability in the core item. The partners are the same, the articles are the same. And therefore it needed technology and thinking that would deal with it uniquely and deal with fashion uniquely.
What steps were taken to improve the availability of the core products?
First, we adopt a very basic step. Out of those 150 which are selling more, so there only we realize that almost 60 to 70 are contributing to 85% of my business. So keeping them into our more focus and taking that 100%. And that's the approach we took. We were working on a push-based model, which was once a season, and providing the inventory which we are giving it to either our outlets or to our retailers. We changed to a pull-based mechanism, which was a more real-time based, sale-based scenario. I will describe this pull into 4 different stages. Let me start with the front-end piece of it, where the actual consumer demand gets generated. So we got into a norm calibration process, where as per my real-time sale at SKU level, norms were getting calculated. From there, we defined the store level norms, and to fulfill that store level, the second stage came into was a central warehouse. We also defined central warehouse norms so that keeping a surety that our availability at 90% at all pivotals across the stores. That to make sure our central warehouse is full, we had to partner our garment vendors as well as fabric mills. There also we defined our norms clearly that in what form they will keep the finished goods as well as the raw materials. So this is from our ordering process, rather it became an auto replenishment process. As in like the sales are happening, it is getting auto replenished across all the doors.
So how did your retail partners and your supply chain partners react to this new way of working for the core items?
This was a huge paradigm shift, a huge issue in terms of getting them to understand about this model and taking them away of regular ordering. So that yes, they took time to get enrolled, but they saw the results of it and now they're very happy how it is being adopted across pan-India 500 plus stores. Our even vendors are very happy because also they have certain secured capacity lines, which is a secured business to them month on month. Earlier it used to be an overall capacity which included fashion and core, and advanced fashion was getting prioritized because of the launches. But now core has a separate availability, separate capacity and separate focus.
How was the solution implemented in fashion products different from the core products?
See, fashion as a category contributes to 80% of our business, which is like a bread and butter for the organization. And for that, on-time delivery and on-time performance is the key. If we place our merchandise on time on the shelves and giving them a window of 16 to 18 weeks of fresh and through, that's the game we play as a retailer. There is a model that used to exist also in the organization of two-slot model, where we used to order pretty much 80-85% of the season in one go and remaining keeping it open 10-15% for the second go. So moving away from that and looking at like in every season we go for a 4-phase ordering, which helps minimizing our risk, optimizing our opportunity to the front end, so that within the season we react to what is getting sold well in what sizes.
Could you explain this further? How did you align your supply chain to do 4 drops in a season?
So we created our process and divided it into 7 critical steps in terms of the time and action. And those 7 steps are divided amongst what are my pre-order delays, areas how to address that, and what are my post-order challenges, how do we come across. So talking about pre-order challenges, critical ones were about how do we effectively plan our capacity, called real capacity management. How do we create entire menu, what is getting offered in the trade show to the partners, what to be bought when, and then accordingly it will be fulfilled on time. So that menu setting became a critical piece. So to address that, we created a supply planning team. We put it into a structure which never existed earlier. And similarly addressing the post-order delays about how are we effectively now utilizing the capacities, there are no peaks and troughs within the season, how are we giving consistent closures to our partners, and regularly review. We also adopted a digital platform where the entire time and action getting managed through that platform, giving a visibility to across stakeholders and cross-functional teams. So from there, the post-order delays were getting addressed with clear 2 forms. One is called the daily flow meeting, and the second structure was PT work, where we used to pin down our issues, solve them, and take accountability.
The implementation in core products has been rolled out already. What are the results there?
So the availability went up in the stores. The sales of the core items went up. The belief in the front-end consumer also increased.
We saw as an overall growth, we actually saw it at each channel level, not just at our own exclusive business outlets. Sell-through was 60%. Our inventory turns got improved from 2 to 4. Our overall raw contribution increased from 8% to 20%.
So what's next for the company?
I would say this is a first in the Indian industry where we've successfully implemented high-selling core program. Yeah, we will continue to leverage the learnings and continue on this journey as we segment the inventory in different parts and leverage the supply chain to improve our turns.